Hello, good day, and welcome to a quick review of something we've gone over before. This is just really a quick video with 6 lessons kind of embedded in it. So if I go too fast or if I say too much, you can kind of split it up into 6 parts. The point of this video isn't really to necessarily teach you how to do all the things I'm going to talk about, is just to remind you of what we have done. You can always do some more searching or come see me before after school for a more detailed explanation of what this review is. So here we go. We'll get me out of the way, and let's see if any of this rings a bell. As we're getting ready for working with probability, we're going to be moving numbers to different formats. You know, if there's decimals, we might be writing them as fractions. If there's fractions, we might be writing them as decimals. We might be writing them as percents, or the percents might be as fractions. So there's these 6 different transitions that can occur to change the format of a number, to change it from from a decimal to a fraction or percent, or to change it from a fraction to a decimal or percent, or from any of these. So what I've got written here is how you change each of the numbers from one type to another. And so one option you have after I go through this is you can just hit pause and look at these and try these with some of the different fractions or decimals that you'll see. But don't feel like you have to know all of these just because of what I'm saying here. I'm really not going to say much about them. I'm just showing you the procedure we've learned in the past. So, for example, if I have the decimal 0.35 and I want to turn it into a fraction, well, let's see this arrow. I put the number over its place value and then I reduce. So the 0.35, I put it over its place value, that's 35 hundredths. So I put over 35 over 100. And as I do that with my calculator, 35, I can write the divide sign if I want, or I can write 35 with the fraction button over 100. Either way, when I hit enter, either way, so this one gave me 0.35, this one gave me 7/20 because they reduced it at the same time. But if you do the division 0.35, if you get 0.35 and you want to write it as a fraction on the calculator, you just push this button above enter and it will change it to the fraction. So the calculator kind of gives you a quick way to do it, but that's one way. If you want to change the decimal to a percent, you move the decimal 2 places to the right. So the decimal was right here because it means divided by 100. You move it over 2, so now it's 35 with the decimal percent. Let's say that I had the decimal 0.45. So to change that to a fraction, I write it over the place value, so that's 45 hundredths, and then I reduce it. You can see that 5 goes into both of those, so divide both numbers by 5, and you'd end up with 9/20. To change it to a percent, I move it 2 places to the right, so that's 45%. So just a couple examples of moving decimals to these 2 types of numbers. Well, what about percents? To make the percent a decimal, you just do the opposite. You move it backwards to the left 2 places. Wherever the decimal was, 0.35, if I had one that was maybe, let's say, 16%, I would move it 2 places to the left, it would become 0.16. Or if I had the percent 2%, when I move it 2 to the left, I have to move it 1 more place, and then I have to put a 0 there to make that in the decimal. Now to change percents to fractions, I just divide it by the 100 that this percent sign means. So 35, when I divide it by, I just put 35 over 100 and it reduces to the 20. I just put 100. So in this one, 16 over 100, and then when I reduce it by 4, it becomes 4/25, and the calculator will even do that. If I let's see, there's 2 over 100, and then I reduce it. 2 goes into both of those, so it becomes 1 over 50. And that's the fraction. So I just divide it by 100 or put 100 underneath it. Now what about fractions? How do I change fractions to decimals? Well, you just do the division. If I just type 7 over 20 and hit enter, this calculator, I can push the other button to get it. Or if I do the division, 7 divided by 20, I actually get the decimal. When you actually perform the division, 7 divided by 20. And then on fractions, let's see, do the division, then move the decimal. So if we do the division on that one, 7 divided by 20, there's this one, 0.35. Then when you move the decimal like you did on decimals, just move it over 2 places, it becomes 35%. I haven't really taught much new here. I've shown a little bit of these processes. You can pause this video anywhere and practice with a couple fractions or decimals or percents if one of these procedures doesn't make sense. But really by now, this process really is hopefully already embedded in your mind. And if not, then practice for a little bit and get it where you know what you're doing, or at least you know where to come on this video to find out how to perform each of these transitions. In all of these cases, this is the exact same number. It's the exact same thing, just written 3 different ways. Hope it hasn't been too arduous, these few minutes learning this process of moving these numbers into different formats. Have a great day. Bye-bye.